Hello, everybody, and welcome to 15 Tips for Albion Online Beginners in 2022. So, to start off, we have number one, which is don't be afraid of the red and the black zones. Now, I know most of you are probably hearing this and thinking, oh my god, this guy probably just wants us to come out here so he can gank us. But no, you're fine out here, guys. It's not as bad as you think it is. Red and black zones allow players to earn more silver and fame in less time, and also allow players to earn might and favor. With might, you can unlock a Grand Conqueror's chest every week, and you can also unlock season rewards, which you receive at the end of each season, and you have for the duration of the next season. You can unlock 10% combat and gathering fame, guys, for 90 days. So, I mean, you're missing out completely by not gaining that might. And also with favor, you can talk to this NPC, which can be found in every portal room, and unlock Elder's Tomes of Insights, Conqueror's Chest, or Siphon Energy. So yeah, we'll move on to tip number two. Do not trust anyone in the black zone. Everyone wants to kill you. You're a piece of food to everyone unless they're in your guild or in your alliance, no matter what they say. And also, don't even stop to talk to people. Definitely don't stop to talk to people. Alright, so tip number three is getting killed can be a learning experience every single time. Keep playing and push through the tilt, because man, when you die you're gonna get so mad, but you just need to think about how you died, see what the person was wearing when they killed you, what kind of build they had. These are bad examples, but yeah, just think about how you died and try not to let it happen again. Tip number four is keep your mount close while dismounted at all times. So when you're killing a mob, this one should be pretty obvious, but when you're killing mobs, keep your mount close. Don't try not to cast out of your mount. It's a lot easier with a ranged weapon, but yeah, it's a huge tip, guys. It'll save you a lot of deaths and it'll save you a lot of silver. Tip number five is use the proper build for the content you are planning on running. So whether it be ganking, fame farming, or gathering. For ganking, you'd be playing something with catch, such as claws, or a mace, or a cursed, or a frost, or even a bloodletter. If something that can dismount would be great as well. For fame farming, you'd want whatever your fame farming composition, whatever your team needs, to fill the composition, or if you're solo open world farming, whatever composition you'd like to run, or if you're gathering, some gathering gear would always be a good idea. Tip number six would be begin to focus on one refining / crafting tree that matches. So, just focus on one area first, use all your focus. If you're gonna do crafting, then craft one tree, say you're gonna craft fire staffs. Okay, start crafting the fire staffs and then spec up the infernal staff all the way first, and then you can start specking up another one of the tree. But it's way more effective to do that than to start specking up a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because you really need high spec to gain profit. So we're talking about using focus for this, fellas, by the way, because if you're specking, it only affects focus anyway. So yeah, we're talking about focus here. Tip number 7 is save your learning points for your gathering tree. You don't want to be spending these on anything else. You don't want to be spending them on your weapons or your armor. This is because you can use your satchel or auto respec to speed up those, or use your combat fame credits. But for gathering fame, it's not like that. So you want to save your learning points, and as soon as you hit 20% in whatever you're trying to max, you can just use your learning points, and it saves you a lot of time. Like that would have took me another week or so to max for sure. So yeah, save your learning points for your gathering spec for sure. And that brings us to tip number 8. Tip number 8 is saving silver by taking off your satchel and turning off your auto respec and being a man and not being a degenerate. Alright, so yeah, that's tip number 8. Tip number 9 is do not buy tomes of insights. We sell those, boys. We don't buy those, we sell them. So you see we have these right here. Let me go over here and we sell these, boys. You don't use those. Complete waste of money. Okay, so tip number 10 is guilds are extremely helpful. Despite what you might read in the all chat, guilds are extremely helpful. You have the guild island, the guild hideout, and not to mention all the content you get from being in a guild or an alliance, and the safety. But having a hideout you can go to in the black zone is huge because you can spawn there, you can store your stuff there, and also if you level your hideout up, you can receive a fame bonus for leaving your hideout. So every time you leave your hideout, you receive up to a 10% fame bonus. So that's crazy. Number 11 is transporting, guys. There's tons of silver to be made just transporting from city to city, you know, buying stuff for the low in one city, flipping it in another, or buying it in a city, taking it to the rest and selling it, or vice versa. There's tons of options. Tip number 12 is just hustling with the buy and sell orders, guys. You can make crazy money with the buy and sell orders. Just be creative. I was in the city earlier and I saw someone buying and selling hideout construction kits. So you can click here and you can see how many was bought and sold over the past 24 hours, 7 days, or 4 weeks. There's been none of that sold here, but anyway, there was a city and I could see there's been a couple sold. Well, every day there's at least one sold for the buy order price, which was 5 million less than the sell orders. So this guy was profiting about 5 million a day from one item in one city. So, imagine, 20 or 10 items or 20 items per city. That's crazy numbers then. Okay, so tip number 13 is mammoth fever. Everyone wants a mammoth in this game. Everyone. But guys, you don't really need a mammoth. Like, you can move heavy enough weight with a elder ox, and unless you really earned the mammoth and you know what you're doing, it's really not worth it, guys. Like, I had a mammoth and I ended up selling it because it's not worth it. You don't need to transport through the royals that much weight. I mean, you can also just use it for caravans through the black zone, but anyway, do what you like. I'm just here telling new players you don't need a mammoth. There's lots of other options. There's bears, there's boars, and there's oxes. So anyway, tip number 14 is spec. Spec is extremely important. You can see how I have 100, 100, 100, 105, and 120 spec. That is what this means. So this symbol right here, gold is 100, anything above is elite levels. So I'll go into my tree real quick and show you what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, so spec gives you extra IP, gives you extra item power. So you want to level up your specialization of certain equipment that you're planning on using. So like the more you have in one tree, also the more points you get, not just in one individual line, like in the whole tree. So if you spec up your whole dagger tree, the bloodletter will be more powerful. Do you understand? Not just the other ones that you spec. So it's a good idea to just spec up what you're planning on using and then move on to others, because you'll save a lot of silver. You can start rocking lower, like this is why I have a lot of adept stuff around, because I'm just 100 specking it, so it's I can wear it, and I have higher IP than I would if I didn't have any spec. Do you understand? Which saves you a lot of silver over time for sure. So that brings us to tip number 15, which is watch my video on how to make silver in Albion Online in 2022. Now you guys probably think I'm capping, but this is no cap. I know everyone says that laborers are dead in 2022 and there's barely any profit, but come check out my video and I will explain to you otherwise. Well, I'll actually show to you otherwise. And I've never seen this anywhere on YouTube. So, and this is not my own method. I did learn this somewhere else, but it's yeah, it's not widespread on the internet. So this is gonna be something new, I'm thinking. So anyway, come check out my new video on how to make silver. Appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe, like, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying. Peace out, fam.